Hello, good afternoon. I'm sure the Arabic language media will be more interested on this press briefing. And again, thank you very much. I have here with me Dr. Baqala, Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy of Ethiopia. What we are going to do today is that we are going to speak the truth, but in the meantime, we are going to be very prudent and careful in our words. We're going to avoid that perpetual rage and sentiment because we are destined to live together. So having said that, Dr. Salashi, the mic is yours.
Thank you all very much for your interest. And let me say a few words and I'll take your questions later. As I told the Council, perhaps I'm the first water minister addressing the August body on hydroelectric dam that is under scrutiny in the unprecedented and unfair manner here at Security Council. We believe, Ethiopia believes, it is an unfitting use of the time and the resources of the UN Security Council to discuss the Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam. Nevertheless, I have voiced the concerns and the just causes of my country, Ethiopia. Let me reiterate that we are dealing here with a hydroelectric dam. We are not building a nuclear plant, which is not the first of its kind in Africa or in the world. The world has many experience on hydroelectric dam. We are building a reservoir to store water that will generate electricity. After heating the turbine, the water continues to flow in the downstream. GERD is actually a people's project. All walks of Ethiopians are contributing to build this dam to bring light home to 65 million people who are currently living in darkness. The Nile belongs to all peoples of the basin countries. In the basin, we have 500 million in 11 riparian countries. Ethiopia generates 77 billion cubic meter water annually. And in fact, 85% of the Nile is coming from Ethiopia. Equally, Ethiopians have best wishes and neighborly care for their compatriots in Egypt and Sudan. We have all the intention to live together in peace and cooperate for our mutual benefit. The GERD demonstrates these core principles for collective well-being, prosperity, and regional integration. Ethiopia has 70% of its population under the age of 30. More than 100,000 people are graduate from higher education, and 30 million Ethiopians are in school. It is an imperative, therefore, to cater the growing need for this population. Finally, Ethiopia believes that an agreement is within reach, and given the necessary political will and the commitment to negotiate in good faith. We have already reached an understanding on a considerable number of issues. So the African Union is the right platform to deal with this kind of issue, to really bring a conducive environment for faithful negotiation. Thank you very much. I can now you can ask me your questions.
Over here.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Ray Bouchafra from Sky News Arabiya. In today's session, most of members of Security Council, they talked about a solution that come to satisfy all the parties of the conflict, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt. Which kind of solution do you think, in your point of view, will come to satisfy all the parties? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. It's actually solutions that satisfies the three countries. The negotiating parties solutions that works for all of us is very important. So we are working towards that, to look into rules and guidelines that could be concluded that works well for everyone in a win-win cooperative that is based on equitable and reasonable utilization without causing significant harm principles.
Egypt and Sudan, they are accusing Ethiopia that you don't want any kind of solution and you just go into unilateral steps without consulting the other parties. Thank you.
No, it's the other way around actually. We always go to negotiation with solution at hand. We take a draft rules and guidelines agreement to put it on the table, and these parties always disrupt. In fact, during the last 9 meetings, they disrupted. Ethiopia has never disrupted any meeting. Wanted always to continuously engage and solve. And we have seen already a solution at hand for first filling since about 1 year. But the parties didn't want to conclude that first filling agreement. It would give us more time actually to negotiate the more complex issues of comprehensive agreement.
Mr. Minister, Ethiopia said in different statements of Ethiopian officials that this is a matter of sovereignty and that you also have more plans for more dams on the river in the future. Are you still considering this matter as a sovereignty matter to Ethiopia and nothing else? And what about the future plans on other dams?
Well, Ethiopia has future needs, current needs and future needs. Currently, as you know, 65 million people are without electricity, but if you go further downstream, 100% access to electricity. Hydropower is one of the solutions. If you take drinking water, about 25 million people are without access to clean water in Ethiopia. We have to drink water. We have to treat and then provide solution for our people. So that is what it implies. We have to establish secured food production. We cannot continue to migrate everywhere in the world. We have to really produce adequate food, supply adequate water, supply electricity, and create jobs. As I indicated, 70% of 150 million are under 30 years. These people should have a future. We have to establish that future. Yes.
Mr. Minister, James Bays from Al Jazeera. You said in the Council that you felt that an agreement at the AU was something that you could reach. Why then, at the moment, do you not suspend the filling of the dam as a gesture of goodwill to get those negotiations going again?
Thank you for raising that question. I know. Currently, all dams in the Nile Basin are filling. The reason being, it's a rainy season. July, August, and September, bountiful water. In fact, it is creating problems by creating havoc in the form of flood. It's a real opportunity, actually. GERD provides that opportunity of protecting against flood. There is no really an issue. Second, when you see it from Ethiopian context, we contribute 77 billion cubic meter to the Nile. It's only fair to take 13.5 to fill our dam. We are not building African white elephant, not to fill the dam, but actually fill and operate and utilize it. So it's really logical on issues that matter actually about the operation of the dam in future. We have to come to conclusion. How do we handle if drought occurs? Ethiopia stretching its hand, it will utilize some of its reserve storage actually to help downstream countries so that they will not be harmed by extreme droughts. As long as water is in the reservoir of above certain quantity, we cooperate. That is the way to go actually. Not prevent Ethiopia's investment from meager resource we have at hand, contribution of all poor people in Ethiopia working around the dam to realize the opportunity. So it doesn't harm anybody, believe me. It's also the right of Ethiopia because we contribute 77, taking 13.5 is not a real issue. It is well within the limit of Ethiopia's equitable share.
Mr. Minister, the ambassadors of Russia and France, they expressed, their view that their countries, they can help to facilitate the discussion between the three parts. Yeah, Russia and France in the Security Council, they expressed that their countries, they are willing to help to close the gap between the three parts. What's your comment on?
We don't have problem. Anybody can come with solution and advise any country, individually or collectively. We don't have with this kind of support coming from our partners. But we are negotiating in actual negotiation. We are handling the issue in a rule-based, according to the Declaration of Principle, in a faithful manner, in non-aggressive way. So we are moving forward. The world has a lot of experience. We are not building the first dam in the world. Europe has thousands of dams. US, Africa has very good experience and best practices in managing river basins like Niger, Limpopo, Zambezi, Senegal. We can draw experience from those rivers and live in peaceful manner so that we can develop rule-based policy.
Abdullah Imasi from Al Hurra. My question is, what are Ethiopia's options if Egypt and Sudan insist on making the issue before the upcoming Security Council sessions?
Say it again, please. Can you repeat?
What are Ethiopia's options if Egypt insists and Sudan insist on making the issue in front of the Security Council in the next
Security Council
sessions?
is not a place for this kind of negotiation. As I explained, it's the first case, the water resource development case. Water resource development case or development case is not the issue of the Council. The Council is looking into issues of security and political issues. Here, we have a development project. Most of the Council members actually emphasize that we go back to African Union, lead negotiation, conclude result on faithful negotiation.
Are you still willing to work? Are you still willing to collaborate with the African Union?
Absolutely, we are working on that. We have never boycotted the African Union meeting.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.